Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Anne Manera. Welcome to today's live color along Monday morning. We're back together again, as we usually are on our Monday mornings together at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hey, good morning, Alexandria. Hey, good morning to Mamie, Melody. Bonnie Hughes has joined us this morning. Good morning to Karen. Melody, did I say Melody? Good morning times two, I guess, right, Melody? So this morning we're coloring a page. We're going to get started right at the top of the hour, but we're coloring a page this morning from Color Along Volume 12 once again. Today we're just going to color with our good old-fashioned colored pencils, right? Blending and shading, just the basic blending and shading. I'm using Black Widow Cobra colored pencils today. Scarlett is super excited this morning about this color along for some reason. I don't know what happened to her. Come here, Scarlett. Come and say hello. Come here. So we're about to start Color Along Volume 13 in a couple of weeks. And I have that book to talk about with you this morning. I also have the Coloring Camp book to talk about with you this morning. And I want to talk to everyone about the giveaways. But let's get Scarlett something, because Scarlett says, hey, what about me? Right, Scarlett? Listen, I'm not really sure what you're looking for, friend. But I don't have anything else. You know? I have this. Bony biscuits, you want that? You don't want that. I have this. You want this? Go ahead, take it. That's it. Okay, so the doggies are settled. How is everyone this morning? Good morning, Lynn Miller. Good morning, Pearl. Hey, Alice, how's it going, my friend? So I'm using Black Widow Cobra colored pencils this morning and coloring this page from Volume 12. Let's see if I can find it in my book. We're almost done with this book. So just a couple more color alongs after today, and we'll have completed the 12th volume of the color along book series. Can you even believe it's 12 of them? It's going to be 13. I can't even believe it, to be honest with you. So, this is a page from Graceful Mandala's coloring book, which is a coloring book in journal. And on every page, it has a mandala, and then it has a quote or a little phrase or an affirmation. You deserve all the world has to offer. So I thought that was kind of an appropriate one to kind of play around with today. But before we get started coloring with our Black Widow colored pencils, I want to talk to you about Coloring Camp, because just in case you may have missed the list of goodies that is happening with Coloring Camp, I just cannot even believe this. So first of all, usually there's a giveaway each day from during Coloring Camp. There's one giveaway per day, and we have different companies and different artists that are sponsoring Coloring Camp each time. So it's not just a giveaway from me, because I mean how much stuff can you stand, right? So you want to have others. You got to kind of sweeten the pot by having giveaways from other people too. So that's why I open this up to different companies to help sponsor each camp, and typically I get one per day. And to be honest with you, I'm usually kind of struggling, like trying to get everybody. This time around, I put out the request, put out the offer to everyone, and I cannot even believe the response that I got for this 5th session of Coloring Camp. So it has created 2 giveaways per day. We have Sperfarben watercolor paints. And Sperfarben not only is she's doing the paints, right? We're doing paint for this one, watercolor paint, and I'll be using them during Coloring Camp too to kind of show you what they're like. But she's already committed to the winter 2019 Coloring Camp for pencils. So it's like, right? Then I'm giving away a custom name coloring page. You may have seen some of those pages that are going around right now. And that's on day 1. So day 1, you'll have one person win the pencils, one person's going to win a custom name coloring page, and I'm selling those on my website right now. They're only $3.50 for a downloadable page. You get any name you want. It's a great gift for a Christmas present, I think, and I have them somewhere. Do I have them? I do. Here's one that I did for Melody, for Malin Faye, for her granddaughter, and here's one that I just completed for Marianne for her new granddaughter, Adeline Florence. So these pages are available on my website. You can get them. They're $3.50 for a digital download of these pages. I think it's dirt cheap, to be honest with you. I had a conversation with someone yesterday about pricing for these, and it was just an interesting convo, as they say, right? So that's one of the giveaways for camp. So custom name page. Then on day 2 of coloring camp, Dawn Boyer is giving away a book. But you know what's cool about this is she's giving away any book of your choice. There's no book. She's like, I can't decide, so I'm just gonna just let them pick. So you'll get to pick any one of her books. And then I'm giving away a 3-foot by 5-foot coloring poster. Have you seen those? You put them together, you piece them together. They're X amount of pages, and then you print them out on like 8.5 by 11 paper, and you tape it all together, and you put it up on the wall. 3 feet by 5 foot poster there. On my website right now, actually, you can purchase them for like, they're like $9.99 to $15.99 or something in price. So I'm giving away that 3-foot by 5-foot PDF poster. And then on day 3, Nola Hensel, my friend Nola Hensel, is giving away a copy of Agate Dewdrops, her book Agate Dewdrops, and Black Widow is giving away a set of Scorpion pencils. Wednesday, Jeanette Wummel is giving away Halloween Roots coloring book, and our friend Trish Foyle is giving away a self-defense keychain because Trish runs a karate school. So she's giving away a keychain. I want one of them, actually. I don't know what I'm going to do. But on Thursday, Xenia Zilli is giving away a copy of Grayscale Heaven. And these are PDFs, too. That's the other thing. They're PDFs so that everyone can have them. But Dawn's book is a hard copy. And then Black Widow is back again on Thursday for a set of Scorpion pencils. On Friday, Melody Jones is creating a handmade custom journal. I've got to change the name on that in my little notes here. And I'm giving away a PDF copy of Easy Mandalas on that day. And then on Saturday, our friend Mary Whitworth is a paparazzi rep, and she's giving away a set of jewelry. And Black Widow is back again for another set of Scorpion pencils. So generous. So that's a huge list of giveaways. I think it's like over $200, a little over $200 worth of stuff you can win. So if you have not bought your camp book yet, there's still time, just as long as you get this book in time for October 20th. And then Color Along 13. Let's just take a minute for Color Along 13 because a lot of questions get asked about this. We're starting this in 2 weeks from today, October 14th, and we're going to start with chalk pastels and pointillism on the very first week. So really excited about this book. And, this is what I have to say about Color Along Volume 13. 2 things. First of all, this book is going to take us it's going to end the decade, right? Isn't it amazing, Melanie? Unbelievable giveaways. Hey, Pat. Hey, Heather. Chris is here with us. Good morning, Chris. Yeah, please share. Thank you so much. And you know what? If you could share out the information to join for coloring camp, that would be awesome too. Because I think it's a deal. I mean, it's $19.99 for that book, that coloring camp book. You get 7 days of tutorials. You get look at the giveaways right there. I mean, you win a set of if you win one of the prizes in the camp, it's paid for itself, right? So that's kind of cool about that. But Color Along Volume 13 is going to take us into 2020 because this ends on January 2nd. So this is the last book of the decade, and it's kind of like, let's end this decade with Color Along Volume 13. The other thing I want to say about Color Along Volume 13 is I think it's the best one yet. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like it's really kind of like, well, maybe it's Lucky 13. I don't know what it is, but it really has a lot of tutorials in it that some that have never shown up before, others that are back again. But I think that the mix of them and what is here is a really wonderful combination of tutorials that you will learn a lot during Color Along Volume 13. So I'm excited about this one because this is really very, very good. The other thing that will be coming out while we're in the midst of Color Along Volume 13 and probably just before camp actually will be my Coloring Handbook Volume 2. So, and that is going to have so much juicy tidbits. It's unbelievable. I'll be talking about that over the next couple of weeks and talking about it. But it'll definitely be out for the holiday season. So I'm excited about that. But Color Along Volume 13 is we're going to learn about chalk pastels, pointillism, textures, cubism. That was a fun one that we did at camp. Remember that at the last camp? Justin #2 pencil, blend and shade, crayons and oil, Mondrian, warm colors, gel pens, oil pastels, monochromatic, bolding. We're going to talk about Andy Warhol. Hey, Gene Mellinger. Justified colors, pop art, tie-dye. We've never done that before. Impressionism, stained glass, tea stained. We're doing that. We're doing tea stained. This is tea stained is also going to be in Coloring Handbook Volume 2. Also, watercolors and doodling. Whew, a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, as my friend used to say. Lot of stuff. I think he thought he was like, I don't know, barbershop quartet or something crazy. Paisley says hello. So what's new, everyone? What is new on this Monday? What's new, Paisley? Do you have anything new to say to us? Come over here and let me tell you something. Sit down. She sat. She did it. Hey, Doreen Johnson. So, what do you think of my camera angle, by the way, you guys? I changed my setup, and I think it's better. How's my lighting? I'm worried about my lighting. Andy Warhol named all of his cats Sam. Did he really? How many did he have, Lynn? Were they all Sam, like, every time he had a cat, he named it Sam? Or did he have, like, multiple Sam cats running around? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I guess it's fitting for Andy Warhol, since he colored kept coloring this, kept drawing and painting the same thing. I need to help Paisley with something. Paisley, come here. Come over here. So did you guys see those, thank you, Lynn. Good morning, Alice. Did you guys see those pictures of Scarlett and Paisley there? I entered them in a contest for, I'm just going to start coloring. I entered them in a contest for, to be on the cover of a magazine. And everyone has been voting. Thank you so much for voting. Let me tell you, though, I don't think we're going to win. Because there are dogs in that contest that have like 150,000 plus votes. It's insane. I think there's like a bot or something that's having them. I don't know. It doesn't seem possible. So on this one, you know how I usually start with like dark in the middle and you feather out? I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go from dark to light from these little points. It reminds me of that, I don't know if it's a poem or if it's like a verse from, it's called The Great Invocation. Is anyone familiar with that? From the point of light within. That's how it starts. That's like my only knowledge of like, a poem that you can recite. You know people that can recite poems. Can anyone here recite a poem? I can't. I can sing a song, but I don't think I can recite a poem. So I'm just kind of blending it from dark to light, coming out from the dark to light. One cat at a time. You know, thank you, Chris. The lighting and new setup look great. Doesn't it look different? You know what it is? I bought this metal shelf. You know those like metal stackable shelves? They're chrome, and they have like, you can adjust them and you can stack them. And I created my own little thing here. And basically the camera is sitting on top of it so that it's pointing down. And it's basically making it so that it doesn't wobble. I had my other crazy setup, but I had a lot of tape going on. And as the color along was happening, the tape was coming undone. So I was using a lot of tape. It's like my masking tape. I don't know. My addiction to masking tape. People might wonder, like, what the heck is she doing with all that tape? It's like a person maybe that buys a lot of duct tape. Hey, Xenia. Trish Foyle's here this morning. I've never been to the Andy Warhol Museum, Lynn. So, anything good for exciting contests that anyone's entering lately? There's always kind of like good stuff happening, right? I know that Xenia's color along last week, she gave away a book, right? I don't know if Xenia's gonna be able to comment. Did you have a winner? Is it over yet, that contest, Xenia? Hey, good morning, Trish. I guess Andy Warhol didn't want to waste his time on thinking of a new name, right? I have so many dog names in my head that I don't think I'll ever have enough dogs to fill all the names that I have. So I'm just, see how that just kind of went from dark to light? So good old-fashioned blending and shading today. And these Black Widow pencils always have such a wonderful core to the lead that they're nice and soft. So now I'm going to take, I want to take something else that will maybe kind of make it glow a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to use this color, which is called Sunset, just for the middle. Paisley's being a fidget today. Do you ever have a dog that's on a different clock where they sleep all day and they're up all night? Paisley, I got to change her clock. Lately, she has been like snoozing most of the day, and then in the middle of the night, she's like a night owl. I hate when that happens. Hey, good morning, Barb. Duct tape comes in many colors and patterns, Lynn is telling us. Do you have a lot of duct tape, Lynn? You can make a lot of things with duct tape, though, actually. Do you ever see people make, like, wallets out of them or something? Oh, Miss Paisley. Are you serious, girl? Come on. Take a break. Your shift is over. Lay down. All right, I'm thinking purple with this, right? That color, the first color that I use is called Fire. You know? And I feel like there's this one color, Space. That's a good color. It's kind of a dark purple off to the side there. So I think what I'll do is color it with this color here. And what I need next is a white colored pencil because I want to make it a little bit of a lavender color. I have got to get Paisley to be quiet because she's driving me nuts. Nuts, 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 this dog. Scarlet, Scarlet, Scarlet. Give this to her so she stops. Yeah, take that. I'm going to use white to kind of blend this purple right here. So it kind of makes it a little creamy. But I'm going to give it a quick sharpen. Lynn says, I interviewed someone who made their prom dress out of duct tape. Oh, how cool. It's amazing what you can do with duct tape. I'm not really well, I do use duct tape, but not as much as I use masking tape. I don't know what it is. Masking tape and packing tape are the two I always tend to buy. But you never know when you need duct tape because it certainly is powerful. All right, so there's my purple Space. Isn't that cool how it looks with that red? Sometimes you gotta just kind of go with some bold colors rather than, you know, the pretty pinks and the purples. Sorry, pink lovers, but sometimes you just kind of, you know, you gotta do something else that makes more of a statement than pink. You know what I mean? Is this little corner thing bugging us? I think it's bugging me. That little corner thing at the bottom. My son had duct tape that had mustaches all over. Oh, that's kind of funny, Alice. How was the wedding, Alice? Alice's son got married, right, Alice? How was the wedding? He was getting married at a castle? That must have been beautiful. How did that go? The stress of the wedding is over, right? Kind of give it a little bit of a darkness right there in that corner. See, just kind of like, I don't know if you can tell there, but in that little corner right there, I'm just kind of making it dark. These mandalas in this book with these comments, there's a comment, you deserve all the world has to offer, to me, really look like they would make a really nice frame print for Christmas. Is anyone else thinking of holiday gifts that they're going to make for people? I am. I'm thinking that I'm going to go with the sunset color for this outer portion here. And I'm going to start out with my heavier pressure here along that line. And then as I get over to here, I'm going to just, the lightest I could be. See? Dark, light. So there's my shading right there. You must have some wonderful pictures So see, just dark, light. Again here, dark. And then we're going to lighten up. So we've got a few new books out over the past few weeks. Happy Words in 3D, Autumn in 3D, Christmas Cheer in 3D. Those 3 books are only $5.99. And the other day I was actually thinking, how long should I leave them at $5.99? So I decided that I would leave them completely at $5.99 until the end of the year. So I'm doing heavy pressure here, and then I'm lightening up. So it gets to this point right here. So, and you know what? The easiest thing to do to practice doing this is take a piece of paper. Take a piece of paper like this. Draw. I don't know, a rectangle. Okay? And then give yourself some guides. Middle, and then divide it. So give yourself like 4 guides, just like that. And then start out, and this is a very big rectangle. And then start out with going from dark on this side, and then light here. So you want to go from dark to light as you're blending. And then see these lines, these dashed lines here? Use them as your guide to now change the pressure of your pencil. So if you want to just start off with this, here's dark, pressing really hard. And then without lifting, you're moving over that dashed line right there. And then in this area, you're kind of lifting up a little bit lighter. You're not pressing down so hard. And then not pressing down so hard again. And then even lighter on the last one. So you're going from dark to light, a gradation. So this is the gradation of this green as it goes across. So that's basically what's happening here with this. I'm still doing the same thing. I'm doing dark, heavy pressure here, lightening up. So it's different when you're coloring an actual shape. What happened, Scarlett? It's different when you're coloring an actual shape, like this mandala, versus practicing on here. This is the easiest way to practice. You could also do it in a circle. You could do it in a triangle. I mean, just make some basic geometric shapes. Give yourself some dividers. And go from light to dark. Or dark to light. Either way. It doesn't make a difference which way you're going. You can just go either way. I had to pick something up off the floor for Scarlett. You know, no thumbs. You know what happens to those dogs with no thumbs. So does that make sense from that dark to light? You can either go dark to light or light to dark. It doesn't really make a difference which direction you go in. But a lot of people wonder, how am I going to get from this dark shade all the way to this without making it look scratchy, or and being able to get that ease of transition from dark to light as a gradation. You know, some people are really good at it. Some people are terrible at it. Some people struggle with it. And I think that the easiest way to do it, to learn, is to just keep doing it. Just keep practicing. Wouldn't you? For those of you that have gotten the knack of it and are successful at it, and they're actually not having a problem with it, or are past like the learning stage of it, what do you think? Would you agree with? How did you learn how to do that? I'm just going to give this a quick sharpen. My pencil sharpener almost did not work. How did you learn how to do that? Melody, I'm going to throw it out to you, actually, because you're someone that does a really, really nice job with this blending and shading off the top of my head, because your name just kind of popped up for a minute. I don't know why. And how did you learn how to do that? I mean, a lot of it is just kind of completely practice, you know? And sometimes you have to color in the direction of what the shape of the object is, right? Here's another purple color, this is grape. So I'm going to go with grape on this outer portion here. And again, I'm going to just kind of do my old-fashioned blending and shading, right? Just old-fashioned, O-L-E, old-fashioned. Again, I'm going to do the same thing I did here. Starting out with that heavier pressure here. and then lightening up. Now, a lot of people talk about blending with the colorless blender. I'm going to have a whole section of my coloring handbook of volume 2 that's going to be all about the white pencil and what do we do with the white pencil. Like, what's the point, right? What's the point of the white pencil? Coloring on white paper. I mean, so I'm going to take my white pencil now, just like I did for these, and now I'm going to kind of use a heavier pressure. This is a Marker Raffine white pencil, by the way, only because I'm too lazy to find the Scorpion Black Widows and get my white pencil out of that. Just too lazy to get up. Do you ever have that feeling, just too lazy to get up? Hey, Lisa, how are you, my friend? Cindy, how are you? Again, just kind of that pressure. So we're talking about blending and shading, Lisa. Going from light to dark or dark to light, changing the pressure to create that gradation of color. What do you think? Can you do it? Do you feel like you struggle with it? I'm going to put Lisa on the spot. No, I'm only kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. You know, people have questions though, right? Now I'm going to pivot this page, because you got to pivot, right, Lynn? And just kind of go like this. Are we going to have another word since Seinfeld is going to be the show? What are we going to do? Again, see? Gradation. And I can go back over too, because less is more. Remember when we colored that page from, remember when we colored, oh, the files are coming in because of the flies. I was going to say the files. What files? Alice, what files are coming in? The flies, I know. I'm constantly getting bit by a black fly. It's just drives me crazy. Bugs. So just kind of using that line there as my guide of where to go. I wish I had, maybe I should show you something else, because I do have another page that I want to show you that is a really good example of this. And now I'm going to use my Marker Raffine white. And it just kind of changes the color. So there's a blend right there with the white pencil, just to make it a little creamy. I mean, it's considered a colorless blender. And there's all the controversy about the color white though, right? Hey, Karen. As to whether or not, I'm laughing at Lynn's comment and I haven't even read the whole thing yet. As to whether or not white is a color, right? I don't know. What do you say? They say it's a color. It's not a color, and or it could be the absence of color. It's like a white prism. I'm going to see if I can get a different page that I want to show you as an example. Lynn is saying we will have to have shrinkage. Shrinkage from Seinfeld. Marble rye, black and white cookie. What's a black and white cookie? Licking envelopes. Oh, licking envelopes. Isn't that how Susan died? Is that how Susan died? Right? From licking the envelopes? I fear that could be like a problem for me, to be honest. You don't know what's on those envelopes. Right? Here's an example of kind of a blend and shade on this page from Paisley's Bubbles. See how, especially where that orange is between the kind of that magenta section. See if I can find another one. Here's another one from Paisley's Bubbles. I don't know what happened to Paisley's Bubbles, but this is another monochromatic, except for what's in the middle. Blend and shade with some colored pencils. Here's another one that was a complete blend and shade. We went from a heavy pressure here all the way up to the light pressure in Simple Bird Mosaic. You know, the Mosaic series books are a really great book to use almost just like as exercises for blending and shading. Here's a mandala that is blend and shade. So just to kind of give you guys some examples or some examples of what is happening with blending and shading and how you can blend and shade to change things. Let's see what else I have here. I have this giant box of all things that I've colored. It's not everything I've colored, but it's a good mix. Here's another one. This is another one, blend and shade. Remember when I drew this live on Facebook back in the day? That's a really good example of blend and shade, because look at the shading and the gradation in just the roses. That would make a nice painting. Is Sharon watching? Sharon, are you still here watching? I don't know if she is. Here's another one that's a really nice example of blend and shade. So I think that kind of gives you an idea of the blend and shade. Oh, here's another one from Christmas. That's a Christmas one. Santa, right? Blend and shade. So this one actually would make a cool painting. This little one with the roses. It was like my kick of, I don't know. What am I drawing lately anyway? I'm not drawing much lately. Isn't that weird that I'm not drawing much lately? I don't know what's happened to me. That I haven't really been drawing too much. What other color should I grab? Should I pull into this? Should I place in this? I've got that fire color. I'm thinking maybe I should put pink. What do you think? Or maybe a blue. This is a nice blue color. This is Aquarius. This would look cool back here. Don't you think? I am actually going to use this with the same pressure for this whole thing. And then I'm going to go back in and put green on top of it, so it'll blend it with another color, yellow and blue. This should make kind of a greenish color. Greenish. Not green, but greenish. I saw here's gold. I saw a food truck the other day that was called Ish. It was Polish and Irish food. It was just called Ish. It was kind of funny. All right, look at that. See how it kind of changed it into kind of like a greenish color? Not bad. I don't know if I like it. Must be my friends from Be Safe at Home. I need something new to watch on Netflix. Any suggestions? Whew. No kidding. Me too, Alice. I am tired of watching Blue Bloods. Let me tell you, I think I've watched so many Blue Bloods that I think that I'm a detective. Lisa, is that happening to you? I know you were watching Blue Bloods too. Sharon is saying, would love to paint the rose picture. Sharon is actually in my painting class. I do a painting class at a local senior center that I don't really talk about much here during color alongs. But Sharon is in my class, and Sharon, we painted a page from Relaxing Afternoon just recently, a couple of weeks ago, right? That would make a good painting, wouldn't it, Sharon? I'll have to, I'm going to pull it out right now so we can do it. That would be cool. I'm going to put it aside for a painting. I'll have to do a sample. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so we have this color green right here. Lisa said blue. Yeah, I need something new to watch on on Netflix too. But I'm still binging on Blue Bloods. I mean, I don't know. I walk around in my daily life. I see things. I'm like looking at stuff. The other day I saw something. I won't go into the details, but the other day I did see something, and I got out of my car and I was looking at it, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm Danny Reagan. I'm in the car. I'm in the parking lot, and I'm looking at that, and I'm saying to myself, yes. And I'm going through the whole thing. This is where the perp left it. No, I'm serious. I'm only kidding. I wasn't really doing that. But, you know, I felt like I could have been. You know? It's like you're getting out your gloves. Here's my question about Blue Bloods. Why do they keep the gun? Yeah, we're going to do that one, Sharon. That's going to be a good one. Why do they keep the gun in the drawer of the desk that is not locked? Does anybody know the answer to that question? Because that is like my burning question about that show. I started watching, I did start watching another one. I started watching Turn. McDuffie. What's McDuffie? I don't know what that is. I think McDuffie is Karen's last name. I think that's what we're talking about. Navy. Are we talking about the color? I'm confused. Now I'm confused. I gotta put some orange next to that, right? For this one, I'm just gonna kind of, there we go. Orange. Sharon, they think that I say orange the wrong way. What do you think? It's like a running joke. They laugh at me. I'm like the butt of the joke here. Is it the butt or the brunt? The brunt, right? The butt of the joke. All right. So this section here. So I've got this, just kind of a darker orange right there. And now I've got these things kind of peeking through. And I think I'll go back with fire for these that are peeking through. And maybe make them heavy pressure from here and then lighten up. I'm gotta pivot my page though. Heavy pressure from here and then lighten up. Just kind of playing around with this one. I might add some white on top of this. I'm not sure. It'll make it kind of like a pinkish orange. Pinkish orange, you know? Navy blue. Okay, I'm watching Glitch. What is that about, Bonnie? I started watching True. It's about like the like George Washington era. One of those period dramas. I like shows like that, but then they just put me to sleep. But you know what I've decided? I'm just looking for a TV show to put me to sleep. That's all I'm looking for. I think it sounds like orange when you say it rather than orange. And it's right, isn't it, Sharon? Isn't it like the right way to say it? It's the way you say it. It's like an ongoing joke. Orange, texture. You like that? The problem I have is there are too much on Netflix, Alice is saying, and I don't know what is good to watch. I have that problem too. But you know what else I've already figured out too, Alice, is that not only is that a problem, I've lost track of where I'm supposed to put this red. Whew. Not only is that a problem, but you know what? If you just keep looking at what's popped up on the screen in front of, like, based on what you viewed, versus going into, I usually go online and look to see what I should watch next, because there's actually more things. It's only showing you what you think. Sharon saying, I'm glad you're pivoting your page. Thought I was the only one that does that. Is it weird that I pivot my canvas when painting too? No, I pivoted. You got to pivot. You got to pivot. This is like, what's the point of walking around your painting? Let your painting do the work walking for you. I'm adding white to this now. Right? You got to kind of spin it around. Put it up in your hand. Like if I was doing a painting with this, I would kind of like rest it in my hand. I would go like this and then paint it. But I see no point in getting up. I see no point in getting out of my chair. I'm looking for fire again. Here it is. Because look what I did. This. Okay. See, this is what happens. You talk, you color. It's all mixed up. It's all discombobulated. Okay, right over here. And then I'm going back in. So I've got all of those. Okay. Going back in with my white. Marco Rufine has joined the party here. So I'm just going to kind of go back in with my white on top of this fire. Atop. When I did my coloring handbook volume 1, I handed it over to my editor, aka my sister, who was my editor, because she's an author actually. And she edited, and she's an editor, and she edited my book, and she handed it back to me, and she said to me, I don't mean to laugh at you, she said, but you certainly use the word atop quite often. And I said, just for that comment, I'm leaving it. I'm not taking it out. So I left it. Okay, we don't want that color there, but I do want this yellow color for this section here, because then I'm going to put something atop of it. If I put purple, it will make brown. Yellow and purple usually make brown, so we don't want to do that. But maybe it will be okay if I just kind of leave it with yellow. This one's mustard. Not too crazy about that, but maybe I should go back over. Let's see what happens if I go back over with the yellow. So this is just kind of like same pressure for this one. And then I'm going to go back over to this one also. Same pressure. Alice is saying, I pivot when coloring all the time. I agree. Hey, Laurel Dill. Lynn must pivot. Hey, Lynn and I have this running joke, right? Pivot, pivot, pivot. Karen saying, shading is hard for me. I'm too heavy-handed. You got to kind of lighten up. You know what it is? You have to, I've got my, like, the side of my hand resting on the side of the page, Karen, right? And I'm pressing down. And then I'm almost like, kind of like, I'm not removing the pencil from the page, but I'm kind of like, and I'm not releasing my grip on the pencil, but I am actually kind of like almost pivoting my hand. Does that make sense? Thank you, Karen. Karen says, I love these colors together. Thank you. Even Pollock pivoted by walking around his painting on the floor, Lynn is telling us. I know, you're right. That's right, Jackson Pollock. But he pivoted himself. He didn't pivot the painting, you know? Alice is saying, when is volume 2 coming out of the coloring handbook? That is a very, very good question, Alice. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I want to definitely have it out by Black Friday. So there's that. Let me see. I just printed my pages. So I'm in the my pre-edit stage of my own editing. I don't know if I want to get it out to my sister to be to edit it for me, but I don't know if she's going to have time. So I may be stuck editing it myself. I am thinking that it will be out by the end of October, possibly mid-October. Like that type of thing. Because I want to really make sure that it's out for Black Friday. And I got to get it. You know, sometimes the approval stage of getting a book out takes too long as you get closer to the holidays. Because everyone's scrambling, thinking that they're going to get everything out. And you got to give it some time to, like, you know, propagate. All right. Grape for this last section here. And then I don't know what we're going to do for that. Have to do something funky. Maybe orange again. Maybe sunset. They kind of look like fall colors without even realizing it, don't they? So see this, Karen? Karen's saying she's too heavy-handed. First of all, what pencil are you using that's making you do that? This is ready to give me a complete update. We don't want that. Hey, Diana. Diana is saying, hi, everyone. That looks so pretty and had to move things around, and I can't find my volume 12, so I'm just watching today. Oh, no. Doesn't it have to also do with how you hold the pencil? It does have to do with how you hold the pencil, and it has to do with the pencil that you're using. So if you're using something that's got a harder lead, like a Crayola pencil, for example, has a harder lead, versus a softer lead pencil, it will be different. It'll be a totally different experience. The other thing is that sometimes it gets to the point where it's a personal choice of what pencil you like. So some people just like certain pencils. You don't have to use every pencil that's out there. I love, somebody asked me to do to add to my coloring handbook. They wanted me to add my list of like my favorite products, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to endorse anybody inside a book. So what I will say is that I'll tell you what my favorite products are. I like a softer lead pencil, and I really love Black Widow. Plus, Black Widow is just so generous to me and to all of you to do giveaways, and so I really like Black Widow. I really like Farben pencils. I love those. I love Marco Raffines. I like all Staedtler products, all Derwent, Faber-Castell. Any product that Faber-Castell makes is awesome. All that being said, you do not need the expensive stuff to color. Like, Marco Raffines are very inexpensive, as are Black Widows. But you know what? So are Farbens. Like, I don't have the $300 set of Prismacolors. Faber-Castell Polychromos, love those. Can't afford the big set. So, those are my faves. I wanted to put some orange here, but look what's happening. If I put it here, it's going to go against that, and I don't want that to happen. Unless I start like I did here with this heavy pressure, darker pressure over here. Alice is saying, I started heavy-handed, but I think the more stressed out I was, the harder I pressed. Well, that makes complete sense, right? Complete sense. I'm going to start here with this sunset color, and then I'm going to mix it up with some fire. You know? Not fire, right? And then I'm going to kind of go like lighter. I think that when you're drawing something, one of the rules that I learned when I went to art school was when you're drawing something, you should just kind of hold your pencil so that it's loose enough that someone could just come over and take it. I don't know who's going to come over and take your pencil out of your hand, but that's how light it should be. Put fire on top of this. Kind of the edges looking like fire. And then I'm going to go back over like every other. So I'm going to leave that and go back to this one. So here's some more sunset again. And I'm trying to go in the direction of what the shape is. And don't forget, you can always go back and add another layer of color. Layering of color will also enhance and darken it. So I could go back now and I could layer another color there, like I'm going to do with this fire color. Fire. Layer that on there. I don't like how scratchy that just got. Less is more. Can always add it, but it's hard to take it away. It's hard to go back in and, like, this kind of scratchiness right there, I don't like that. But what can I do? I'm stuck with it. Melody says, I asked for the big set of Faber-Castell polychromos every year for Christmas. How many of them do you have? I'm assuming that you get them for Christmas every year, Melody. All right, so there's that color again right there. And here again is fire. So this is just really a complete, like, back to basics. And you know what? I think that if you color with colored pencils and you just learn how to blend and shade and really practice, then you'll be able to blend and shade with a lot of different things. We still need to get going with some alcohol markers and blend in some techniques. And then again with some fire. So the next color along this week is on Friday. And what are we doing on Friday? Friday starts our 1st October. Oh, Friday. Friday we are coloring with a number 2 pencil. Another great way to kind of practice blending and shading. All right, now we've got this part right here. I think I'm going to jump in again with my Aquarius. And maybe this time I'll add some white to it. So it'll really kind of change that color. And we can kind of just play around with it here. If I just kind of did this pressure, this type of pressure here, and then went back on top of it. Look how it just kind of changes that to kind of a more of a blue color. So let's do just kind of a white pressure. The other thing is that the angle that I'm holding this pencil to, Karen had asked about maybe how you hold the pencil. The angle could be could be it too. So this is more of a blending technique here. So I've got that light pressure there. And now here, I'm gonna go the opposite way. I don't know why I did that. No real, like, official reason. Look how it changed that, just kind of peeking out. Aquarius. If you notice the tip of the pencil, it's kind of got a little bit of an angle, and I'm kind of keeping it that way because I want to have that just enough of that pressure. My dogs wore themselves out. I don't know what happened to them. And then grab some white. Do you go through the whole set every year, Melody? I'm going to come over to your house and color with you. No kidding. We all meet at Melody's to play with your polychromos. And then again here. Look how it changed the color. Isn't that just amazing how it changes that color? Now, the background. I've got to jump over to a different medium for the background. The other day I used makeup. Let's see if I have my makeup. I do. I'm going to do makeup on the back. So I've got this LA Colors 3-pack here. And I'm just going to go with, I guess I'll go with blue in the background. So I'm just going to apply it with my fingers. And the cool part is if you get this on the colored pencil, you can kind of erase it off. You could use the applicator that's there, but I'm going to be a rebel today and use my fingers. And I can mix the two. I can mix maybe some yellow with it to kind of make some shades of green behind here. This would make a really cool card if I cut this out and maybe glued it on top of a card. Alice is asking me, did I try the rubber bands yet? I have not. I haven't tried it yet, Alice. I've been kind of buried with getting everything in order for coloring camp, Color Along Volume 13, working on my coloring handbook, and then I threw in those books, those Autumn in 3D, Christmas Cheer in 3D, and then I started another book actually yesterday, which will be out this week. It's called Square Chains. Remember the other day we colored, remember the other day when we colored this page? And I took the chains, just this. So I just took like this here, these little square things. And I just created a whole book of all of these. And it's called Square Chains. I think I posted it in the coloring group, the cover of the book. It'll be out this week. I need to finish. I'm not done with it yet. I just need to finish it up. I'm going to take some yellow. Ooh, I didn't mean to break that up. I need to buy more of this. And I'm just going to kind of put yellow. And then you could go over those words if you wanted them to kind of like, you know, stand out more with an eraser. Go over it with an eraser and it'll make it come out more. Because I think if you went over it with, let me get an eraser. I need to try the rubber bands though, Alice, because that looks really cool. The makeup technique is always one of my faves. All right, let me see if I can get a small point to an eraser. All right, so I'm just going to erase, see? Just kind of take off a little bit of that makeup because I want those words to be a little more visible. And then I'm going to add some purple to the edges by adding pink. Just to kind of make it look like it's off the edge. And I'm treating the line that's around it as kind of my frame, my edge of my paper. I'm not going to treat this portion here as the edge of my paper. And it just kind of gives it a nice soft look. This is like the cheap way of using pan pastels, because I don't have pan pastels. I'm using, Diana says, what product am I using right now? I'm using these LA Colors eyeshadow. You know, hot pink, bright blue, and bright yellow. You know, for a nice evening look. No, I always laugh every time I use those because I always remember buying those. And then I always think to myself, did that person that I bought, I just touched my eye and thought, I shouldn't be touching my eye with eyeshadow, but I always think to myself, what did the person think that when I was buying that? Okay, that is complete. I mean, you could put like a black line around it, but I'm not going to do that. You don't have pan pastels either, Chris? I mean, does anybody have pan pastels that's watching right now? I don't even know if I want to. Here is the next page we're working on. Where is it? Create a Great Life. No one that calls me on my cell phone is ever anybody that I want to talk to. I mean, with the exception of maybe a couple of people, but that's about it. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Alice. This is the one we're doing on Friday for Create a Great Life. So we're working on this on Friday on October 4th. Then we have this page on October 7th, which is next Monday. This one is from Relaxing Afternoon. This is a grayscale illustration page that I turned into a grayscale page. Look familiar? Sharon, look familiar? And then we have one more page after that. Fearless, which is on next Wednesday. And then this book will be complete. Where is Fearless? And then we'll take a look at this book so far. Fearless. We're going to be doing this in the pop art style with crayons. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, I would just use eyeshadow, Chris, right? So this book, we colored this page with the fresco style way back in May, back in the day, right? We've been working on this book for a long time because this book only met once a week. This one we did with the pointillism style. This is one of my favorites, actually, with markers. And then this one is from Dangles. We did this one with crayon and gel pens. I think I used Sparkle Pops. Wow, really, Melody? Melody's saying, I had pan pastels and I traded them to another crafter because I didn't care for them at all. Interesting, because people, like, love them. Isn't that crazy? Thank you. That's good to know. Now I don't want to have to want them. This one we did with watercolor pencils. Here's one that we did with oil. And this was an oil type situation. And then this one we did with alcohol markers, I believe. Did we do this with alcohol markers? I think we did. I have a tough time using alcohol markers when I am doing a live color along because the odor of the marker, not only does it bother me a little bit, but it really bothers me while I'm talking and it's close to me. So I have a hard time with it. I've got to figure out another way to do it. Maybe I'd have to do a silent video for alcohol markers. I don't know. Tribal Abstract, we used Sparkle Pops for this one. Here's one that we did from Paisley's Bubbles, and this was monochromatic, and we created a texture in the background. Alice had made a comment. She asked me if I used the rubber bands, and Alice had done something where she put rubber bands on a paint roller and then applied that as a texture. I need to try it. Here's one that we did kind of gemstones. This is from Doggy Mosaic. Here's a page that we did from Easy Mandalas. I'm not sure what the title of this color along was. What was the title of this one? Do we know? I don't know. Oh, Warm Colors. Yes, Warm Colors. And then we still have to work on this one. This is still on the ahead of us. Impressionism. We did this one with Impressionism as an Impressionism style from Lazy Waves, and this one was also done with oil pastels. This is one of my favorites, wood grain technique. We used a lot of blending and shading, but it made it look like a wood grain technique because it is just in a lot of variations of browns. I did one of those, and I thought I should turn it into like floor tiles or something. It'd be kind of cool. This one we did with gel pens. Another one with markers, blending colors. These were brush markers. We did this one digitally, so if you have this book. I think it depends on the brand. Some smell really bad, others don't smell much. Smell gets to me too, Alice is telling us. Alice is talking about the alcohol markers. This is another one we did with markers. I think I used Faber-Castell maybe on this one, or maybe Crayola Super Tips. I guess I should write this down, right? Oil pastels. Here's one for oil pastels. I actually did this as a painting recently. I don't know if I have a picture of it or not, but I just did this as a painting. Here's the one we did the other day. We kind of layered some colors, and this is from Abstract Twist. Here's today's. This is kind of cool. And then we'll be working on this next Monday, and then that is the end of the book. The rest of the pages are the duplicate pages that come with the color along book. So, any questions about today's color along blending and shading? Good old-fashioned blend and shade with colored pencils. Any questions? So if you've colored today's page, post it in the coloring group, post it on other coloring groups, spread the word. Greases the word, spread the word. And Color Along Volume 13 starts on October 14th. That's about it. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. I hope everyone has a great Monday, and I will see everyone back again on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Don't forget to take a look at the October calendar because it is jam-packed with color alongs. I'm not doing Inktober this year because I don't really feel like I need anything to help me be more creative for the month of October. So I think I've got it under control. So instead, I have decided that I would do a lot of color alongs throughout the month of October rather than force myself to feel the pressure to do Inktober. Last year was a lot of pressure, and I felt like I was like trying to pick up the pace and go back, and that's not how it should be. So instead, that is why I've decided to do a lot of color alongs in the month of October. So not only am I coloring for my own books, doing coloring camp, and coloring for coloring camp, but I'm also coloring for Dawn Boyer on October 11th and 18th. Dawn has 4 new books that are coming out. So I'm doing two of those books. October 11th was one of them, and then October 18th. I've got a painting class on Saturdays, and then I think that's it. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. I will see everyone on Friday. Have a great day. See ya.